Hi guys, Football-ManagerYouthDevelopment.co.uk here. We're back for an episode today where basically I'm just going to be showing you guys exactly what I do when I get a new intake of youth players coming in through the academy. Now, depending obviously what size club you are, if you're a club like Barcelona or Manchester United, you can be expecting some very, very good youth candidates to be coming through into your youth academy. Or if you're like a kind of non-league team, you're not likely to get that many kind of good youth players. Obviously, developing your own youth players is going to just, it's a really kind of rewarding thing to do on Football Manager. It's part of the game that I really, really do enjoy. Obviously, as you know by my website name, Football Manager Youth Development, that's something that I just take a really, really keen interest in on Football Manager, just kind of having a look at youth players, seeing where I can kind of bring them into the team, focusing on their training, their tutoring, the game time that they're getting, how you're kind of speaking to them, things like this. So if you've not been following my Barnsley team or Barnsley playthrough, this game is in the 5th season and we're in the Premier League. So we're starting to kind of develop this team a lot more. Being in the Premier League, we have actually managed to have a couple of upgrades on our youth facilities and our scouting range as well. We're slowly but surely starting to put things in place as well, so that we can, we've got more scouting knowledge of other nations. Obviously, the more knowledge and kind of the more sort of scouts, sort of affiliated clubs, that you have, the more likely that you're going to be getting players who are more further afield. You're going to be looking at other youth academies, things like this. So I've not looked at any of these players yet. Don't know how good they are. Don't know who's the best player. Don't know anything about them at all. But what I wanted to just show you is exactly what I try and do. What kind of players I'm looking for. The type of things that I'm going to be doing just to help them develop, and how I'm just going to be like kind of treating each player. So obviously Barnsley being in the north of England, having a look here. So yeah, guy from Barnsley, is he English? Yeah, this guy's English. Can't say I've ever heard of that place before. Has he got a mixed nationality? Ah, right, okay, so he's actually eligible for St. Lucia as well. Oh, and he was born in St. Lucia. No wonder I've ever heard of that place. Cool, okay. So, where's this guy from? So this guy's from Russia, 15 years old. Yeah, pretty cool, actually. Starting to get a couple of other youth players in from different kind of academies and things like that. Which is good. This guy's from York, which is obviously up north, Rotherham up north, Huddersfield, Dewsbury. So yeah, we're getting a lot of players that are still from the kind of north of England, Barnsley, Sheffield, Huddersfield, etc. Where's this guy from? So he's from England as well. Okay, so what I always have a look at, obviously, where's this? So my head of youth development's from Spain, actually. Just wondering where this Russian guy's come from. Just gonna have a real quick look at our scouting. Okay, so knowledge. Must be some reason why we got a good Russian player through. So this guy has got knowledge of Russia, so I can only think this guy, who's actually a scout, actually. So somewhere along the line, he's managed to probably find that guy, and yeah, kind of bring him into the youth academy for us, which is pretty decent. So our head of youth development has picked out David Mee as one of the better players from this year's youth intake. They're not raving about him, so I'm not too sure how good he's going to be. So this guy's 2.5 stars. Certainly looks like he's got pretty good potential to be, he's got good physical attributes, not too keen on his technical attributes at the moment. And being 15 years old, his mental attributes are going to be nowhere near being developed to where they need to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look at the youth candidate team. I'm just going to sort by potential. So we can see here, the better kind of youth prospects, what I'm going to do, these 4 players here, I'm going to go to squad, put them all in the senior team. The rest of the players I'm going to just have a real quick look through. Obviously not that bothered about these guys down here. Players that are 1 star, I'm going to have a look through them, but I'm not particularly bothered. You know, they're not really going to be doing much for us. This guy, Les Colton, I'm just going to have a real quick look at him. Okay, so yeah, I'm not too happy about him. Nothing special at all. He'll be fine just in the youth academy. Goalkeeper, he don't look too bad. But yeah, what's his report? So his report, he can be a good Sky a League 2 player. So obviously we're in the Premier League. Not really any point in kind of focusing on these type of players. I'm going to obviously just have a real quick look at them 4 players that I promoted to the first team. Now, what I tend to do, the key players that you've got in, like, from your youth academy, what I would recommend that you do straight away is just put them all into your first team squad. Now, what this allows you to do is keep a real good, like, close eye on the players. You can kind of get them tutored, develop their training. You can make sure they're getting game time for the under-18s, etc., etc. So for this guy, what I'm going to be having a look at, so this guy's a striker. He's got finishing 17, composure 7. Sorry, finishing of 7, composure 7. Fair amount of pace, good work rate, good flair. So yeah, he doesn't look that bad actually. We can certainly develop him. So yeah, what I'm going to do is go to information, personal information. So yeah, he's fairly professional personality, but his determination is only 8. Just going to offer this guy a contract. So yep, finalize, exit that. The Russian guy, complete wing back. Now I do actually quite like the look of this guy. So if I straight off the bat just go to complete wing back and oops, complete wing back and attack. Now you can see here on the face of it, it didn't look like he's got very good attributes. But if you look at kind of what he has got, for a guy that's 15 years old, he's got pace of 14, acceleration 11, crossing is 8, dribbling 8, flares 7, tackling of 12. So you can see here, this kid with a little bit of kind of pushing, if you get a lot of these attributes up to sort of 12, 13s, you'd be looking at a first team regular player there. He's 6'1" as well, so he's quite strong. And yeah, 6'1", so quite a tall player. He's got pace to bomb up and down the wing, crossing of 8. So yeah, if you kind of give him game time, this kid, he's going to be developing his decision making. He's going to be developing his anticipation, things like that. So obviously his decision making is not great at all at the moment, and he can improve on his positioning and things like that. But just from kind of like a raw kind of talent, I think he's certainly got some attributes in place where he could potentially develop into you know, like just at least a sub or something like that. You can just develop him as much as possible. Now, although I said like don't take too much notice of like potential ability, so like this guy, it's got that he can be a good Sky Bet Championship player. Personally, I think if you get him tutored in the right way, you know, make sure that he's getting good game time, making sure that his training's up to schedule, things like this. This type of player I could certainly see being like a decent Premier League player in the future. Now that we're like a Premier League team, what you've got to be doing is just kind of tutoring this guy straight from the off. When they're 15, or like a young player, what you want to be looking to do is to train their physical skills as much as possible. Now, obviously, when a kid's like 15, their mental attributes aren't going to be very good. Their physical attributes, however, you'll notice such massive improvements in their physical attributes when they're a young player. I highly recommend just, you know, working on his physical attributes till he's like just for like a year and a half, something like that. And then what I do is switch up onto the technical attributes. Now, like I said at the beginning, once you do kind of review all your young players that have come through into your academy, just put them straight into your first team, just to like keep an eye on them, so you can just track exactly how they're developing. It's something that I look to do a lot, and yeah, obviously what you can be trying to do then, you can give them as much game time as possible, or just trying to kind of like weed them into the team. If they're not getting game time, obviously when they get to say 17, 18, if you've got kind of affiliated clubs that you can kind of like loan the players out to, or just sort of send them out on loan, I'd recommend doing that as well. Obviously when they go out on loan, they're likely to improve their mental attributes, things like that. So yeah, this guy I'm definitely going to give a contract to. So yeah, suggest terms. This guy is a striker, advanced forward. Personal attribute that I absolutely love on Football Manager is flair. Just when you see a player with brilliant flair on Football Manager, especially like in the 3D match engine, just seeing them like run around, yeah, they just kind of do the unexpected. And this kid, like you can see, he's got pace. Work rate's not great. Yeah, 5'11", finishing 10, composure of 7. But you can see here his anticipation's 8, decisions 7, flair 15. So yeah, I can certainly see this guy developing into quite a decent little player as well. He does have potential to become a good Sky Bet Championship, but again, I reckon this guy could quite easily be good enough for like a decent Premier League player. I think he's got kind of like raw attributes that you can kind of just try and work on, just kind of giving him a little bit of game time, things like that. Yeah, I think you can develop kids like this pretty well. Now, a lot of people, they'll kind of look at these kids and they'll think, right, he's shit, nothing, you know, he's not going to kind of amount to nothing. Now, good thing to do is, so yeah, if you have a look at their kind of best position and just have a look at the attributes that they have, you know, that they've got, and you can look to develop. So this guy, obviously, his heading 6, crossing is 6. But yeah, a lot of his other kind of attributes for playing in this position are actually pretty decent. Now, a 16-year-old with off the ball 13, and with that acceleration, you're going to be looking at a player who, yeah, he's going to certainly be in the right positions, isn't he? When he's on the pitch, he's going to be in the right positions. He's got the pace to try and do something. He's got pretty decent anticipation for a 16-year-old, and his decision making is good. When he does get the ball, he's got the pretty decent flair to do something with it. He's got a technique of 8 as well. And yeah, so when he does manage to kind of get through on goal, he's got a finishing of 10 and the composure of 7. So within, by the time this guy is probably 17, 18, a lot of these attributes are probably going to bump up, probably 2 or 3 attributes, you'd say. And so then you'd be looking at quite a decent player. I mean, if he gets his finishing up to 13, composure, say 10, etc., etc., just bump about 2 or 3 onto these key attributes that this guy's got, and you'll certainly be looking at a player who's, you know, he's on the way to being a good, well, decent Premier League player here. Now, obviously, what we're looking to do here is just to promote as many of our own youth players into the team, just kind of develop them. If you can kind of like sell these players on for a profit, or just even have them in your team just as like squad players, obviously they're going to be on lower wages. You can just use them in like cup games, use them in sort of like lower down league games, things like this. Yeah, and it just kind of like helps all the club just kind of progress, really. So yeah, this guy's definitely going to be getting a contract. And the last player was Dave Me. Obviously this guy, I'm trying to just think of this guy's best position. I don't actually play with like wingers in my formation, so I need to try and think somewhere else to put him. Now, the trouble with this guy is he's got tackling of 4, which is pretty useless. He's not really that good at passing, so I can't particularly put him. Yeah, kind of a bit stuck, really. I think he is likely to get trained probably as like an attacking midfielder in this position. Now, his finishing is pretty crap, but what I'm just having a look at here, he's got creativity of 7, He's got a pretty decent work rate. Yeah, I'd say that's likely to be his best position. So if I look at midfield roles and just go to advanced, sorry, what do I need? I use that position. So yeah, this guy, looking at his kind of key attributes here, just for this particular position now. Again, what I try to tend to do when a kid's like 15, 16, if you bump like say kind of 3 or 4 onto their kind of key attributes, it'll give you a rough idea kind of what you'll be looking at when the kid's about sort of 19, 20, something like that. So yeah, bumping kind of about 3 or 4 onto each of these ones. So yeah, you'll be looking at 10, 10, 10, about 9-ish, say. First touch should go up a bit as well. So yeah, pretty kind of half decent, but although this guy is kind of rated as being one of the better players, he must have good potential. Now, I can see here, when you're looking at this guy, his current ability, now the guy that we were looking at before, he's certainly got the best, yeah, kind of current ability. This guy as well, he's got a determination of 5, which I'm not happy about at all. So yeah, this guy, I think out of all of them, as weird as it sounds, he does need like the most work doing. He's got good pace. I will give this guy a contract just because my scouts say that he's got one of the better reputations of the youth players that have come through. Now, this guy, you need to kind of think. So yeah, he's a winger, this guy, but he's not really got much of a crossing ability. So say if his guy's tackling was like 9 or 10 or something like that, I certainly would have been training him to be like a right back or a left back. A lot of the time when you get youth players come through the system, they're not going to be maybe in a, their best role is not always going to be the position that they're kind of more suited for, kind of thing. So what you need to be having a look at, just like I did with this guy, is just have a look at what are their best attributes. So yeah, work rate, decision making, creativity is reasonably higher attribute. So what you need to be thinking about is what attributes this guy does have, and then kind of what attributes do his higher attributes suit a role best, basically. So yeah, if the guy's got really high finishing and he comes through that his best role as a defender, you might want to look at changing his position to being like a striker or etc, etc. So yeah, just have a look around at their best attributes, just trying to just discover or like change what they can do for you, basically. So I'm going to offer this guy a contract just as a hot prospect. Yeah, finalize that. What I'm going to do for this guy straight away, I've obviously noticed that he's not going to be getting into our team as a winger. I don't play with wingers. I need him to be training into that new position there as an attacking midfielder. Now, yeah, particularly he didn't really need many physical attributes, but what I'll do for this guy, specific attribute and his strength, I'll put that on heavy. And yeah, so for all these young players, what you got to do is just have a look at the attributes that they need. So for this guy, I'll probably look at developing his stamina, just get that up to like 12 or 13 by the time he's like 16, 17, and then you can kind of like switch it around, things like that. So yeah, what you got to do, guys, just kind of from the off, is just put the players that have got the higher potential, whack them straight into your first team, give them contracts, look to get them tutored as quickly as possible just to improve their determination. Now you'll see what I've done here at Barnsley. We're a team who's got lots and lots of good tutors, loads of players with really, really high determination, really, really good tutorable personalities. As you can see here, we've got resolute, determined, spirited. We've got really, really good determination. And things that we can develop. Once you get them tutored, if they're really young, 15, 16, just really focus heavily on one particular physical attribute that you think the guy will need to develop when you're for his position. So if he's a target man, work on his strength. If he's fullback, maybe work on his stamina or his pace or acceleration, etc. And then when the guy gets to say 17, or maybe like after a year and a half of being on his physical training, what you want to be doing is switching it up and just working on kind of technical attributes. Now, when I say technical attributes, what I would tend to do, so you really then just got to nail down on the position that they're going to be playing for you. So this guy's going to be a complete wing back. So what I'd do, I'd go to training, I'd go to focus, I'd go to individual role, I'll go to complete wing back, and I just have the focus intensity on average. Now, with a young player, you don't want to burn them out, so never ever put it on heavy. Just leave it on average. What you're going to be doing with these players, you're going to be improving their determination. You're going to be giving them lots and lots of game time in the youth development teams, like your under 18s, your reserve teams, etc. You're going to be changing his focus onto the role that he's going to be developing into. And what you're going to be doing is leaving that until he's like 18. When they turn 18, if their determination and their personality is good enough, what you're going to be wanting to do is look to get them out on loan, either to one of your feeder clubs, or you want to, just like look to get him out on loan. Obviously, it's good now. I'm a bigger team in Barnsley, and we're in the Premier League. I've got a head of youth development who is really good with the young players. So yeah, you tell him to find them like a club to go out on loan to. So what they're going to be doing at 18 years old, they're obviously not going to be in your first team, but you can just give them as much game time as you can afford to give them. At 18, once they go out on loan, a full season of playing like lots and lots of football, their mental attributes, above all, are going to be improving. Now, when they're back from loan, just keep them in your first team again. Again, if you can tutor them more, give them some more tutoring. Whack them back on this focus, whatever focus they need to be on. Just make sure it's on average focus intensity. And yeah, just play them in as many games as you can. Just keep getting them tutored, many games as possible. Make them available for the reserves, for the like youth teams as well. If it gets to the stage when they're like 18, just about to turn into 19, and they're not playing as much, then just loan them out again for a whole season. And then once you've kind of done that, you can then just review the players. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of players that I've done this with so far. So if I have a look, so yeah, Jacob Lyons. As you can see, this kid's really, really good. Yeah, he's got really high potential. Yeah, can become a star Premier League player. Now this kid, I signed him about 3 seasons ago. So yeah, I basically had him as a 17-year-old. I just whacked him in the first team. He was playing lots of games for us. This season I try to just play him as much as possible. Obviously wasn't always something that I could do. He did have a lot of game time in the youth development teams. I tried to loan him out to West Brom. I think that was only for like a 3-month loan spell. Didn't quite go to plan, but he, his attributes did actually improve when he went out on loan. And now I'm in the Premier League. The kid's 19. You can see his attributes, his mental attributes are really, really good. And yeah, now he's starting to get the game times for me. So yeah, he's made like 14 starts. Yeah, he's started like 17 games overall, this kid. So he's developing now. What I've also done, so yeah, he's got a determined personality. So yeah, I've been tutoring this guy like hell of a lot. I didn't actually know this before, but now he's actually touted as the next Paul Gascoigne. Yeah, so that's basically what you got to be looking to do. Another example I can give you is Paul Digby. Really wasn't too sure about this guy when I kind of was around at Barnsley. Obviously, he did come through the youth team. So yeah, what I've been doing with this guy, try to play him in as many games as I could in the first season. Didn't really work out. He went on loan to Dundee United. Didn't really work out. But then he had a whole season at Bradford. Granted, he didn't play that well. But yeah, his mental attributes basically just shot up just because he was getting a lot of game time. And that was basically working wonders for him, which was all good. Come back, still in the Championship, and he... yeah, I tried to just give him as much game time as possible. Didn't particularly work out for him. But then as you can see last year, now as he's developing, just trying to give him as much game time as possible. Now we're in the Premier League. And to be honest, he's kind of worked his way into a position where he started 12 Premier League games for us. As you can see here, if we have a look at his attributes now, they're all like rocketing up. There's lots of green arrows here. I've been tutoring him, trying to give him as much game time as possible. If I look at his training, I've just got him on a box-to-box midfielder, just on average. Now, what I'll look to do, once he starts to stagnate, like if you look at a player and the green arrows aren't kind of constantly going up, what I'll be looking to do so if you highlight a key attribute and go to say, box-to-box midfielder, I'll be looking through here and say like his first touch is only 13 at the moment. What I'd end up doing is put him on a individual training schedule to just be working on his first touch, and what I'd do is put that on the heavy focus. So yeah, I'd go development, training, and then I'd go specific attribute, first touch, and then I'd put that on heavy. And then what I'd do, I'd make a note, create a note and then just make a note of what his first touch is. So I just put first touch 13, and then just keep checking it periodically. Once you've seen it's gone up to 14, that particular attribute, you'd go back to training and then just put his focus back on box-to-box midfielder, average focus intensity, and so yeah, you've just improved one attribute, and then you can kind of just kind of chip away at the other attributes if you like, just to try and slowly increase them as much as possible. And then what I'd do maybe like a couple of years down the line or like a year later, have a look at something else like his positioning. If I'm not too happy with that, make a note of what it is. So 10, wait till it goes up to 11, and then back on this focus again of box-to-box midfielder. That to me is the very best way. You can see I'm having a lot of success with doing that. Just trying to think of some other young players. So yeah, James Marsden, I think I loaned. Yeah, so another player. This guy is out of this world, to be honest. Another guy that I got when he was 17. Look at all them green arrows. Yeah, just absolutely improving no end. 20 years old, this kid. He's got passing 17, technique 19. Work rate of 18. Now I found this guy when he was 17, as I said. Now what I did, straight into the first team, trying to give him as much game time as possible. I realised he wasn't going to be getting too much game time, so I loaned him out to a League 2 team. Now this kid, he managed to actually play really, really well. So as soon as he came back into our team in the Championship season, you can see there he started 37 league games. So I just gave him as much game time as possible. Now the kid this season has had 24 league starts, and so yeah, he started a hell of a lot of games for us. And look at him, just absolutely brilliant. As you can see there, he's a wonder kid. Pleased to say that's the first wonder kid I've actually had at Barnsley, so fantastic. Very happy about that. So you can see I've plucked a kid from Dorchester for £8,000 in the Skrill South, and I've just developed him into a wonder kid. Now yeah, so and that was simply by tutoring his personality, sending him out on loan to improve his mental attributes, and just giving him as much game time as possible. And now I've got a wonder kid on my hand from Dorchester for 8k. So yeah, it works, guys. That's all you basically need to do. Just kind of have a look at how they're developing, work on their training. Yeah, just keep kind of doing that. So this is the next kind of youth prospect that I'm working on, guy called Vivara. So what I'll be doing is just leaving him on an advanced forward role, just on average, just get him in the team as much as possible. This kid's going to be going out on loan next season, just to get loads and loads of game time. Yeah, bought him for £250,000. Now he's worth £3 million. Kid's only 18 years old. Very, very good already. To be honest, I think this guy is probably going to be another wonder kid. He's got all the attributes there. 1 season on loan to develop him even further. He'll come back from loan, and then I'm just going to play him in every single league game. And yeah, you'll probably have another. I'll probably have another wonder kid on my hands here. Yeah, lots of players I'm just doing that with basically. Yeah, that's basically what I've got to do. So yeah, like Marsden, Lyons, Juarez is one that I'm developing now. I'm taking a little bit of a different tact with this guy. He's 20, so he's a little bit older. But yeah, what you'll see, so yeah, training, target man, average, and then what he's got a spirited personality, which is good. And yeah, he's just so yeah, if I look at his attributes, you can see the green arrows all over the place. And yeah, 60k I got this guy for. And yeah, now worth 1.8 million. He's started 13 games in the Premier League, scored 7 goals, and I only signed him for 60k. Now, if we stay in the Premier League, and because this guy's got like 7 goals, yeah, can't really argue with that, can you? Doing really, really well. Developing him as much as possible, just trying to play him as much as I can. Obviously, coach report. He's got the potential to become a good Premier League player. Yeah, he'll get there definitely. He's got the attributes to sort of far exceed that. So, yeah, basically, I just want to show you guys how I develop youth players. What I do with the youth players that come through my academy. So yeah, just whack them straight in your first team. Play them, train them, and tutor them. That's the yeah, kind of main tips I'd give you guys. If you do have any questions, I'd like to hear your comments on this one. Obviously, I think this is a subject I'm pretty successful with, and yeah, kind of quite experienced with as well. So if you guys do have any kind of questions or things you want to know or find out, just yeah, hit me up with your questions. If you do like this video, please press the like button. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, please do check out my other videos and hit that subscribe button as well. Yeah, look forward to your comments, guys, and thanks for watching this one.